there was an Akash, a commanding officer of an Akash surface to a missile unit. He was deployed somewhere in the front line in the broader Jammu sector. I could tell you where, but then I didn't shoot you. And his guys were like coming and they were like, I mean, they were hopping onto the top of buses. They were getting to a place, there were roadblocks over there, and these guys are like, no, I have to report over here. And the cops over there on the ground are saying that we don't have any orders. So, and I mean, and they returned. I mean, it was their job.
The one story that is there, like everybody is talking about Rafale.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, with another purchase coming in, so everybody is saying, should we buy it or not? And it's going on for many years now. You talk to the pilots who were, flying Rafale and who conducted operations. What was the one moment that they find the usability or the, that we needed Rafale in this fight? That it was absolutely necessary in Operation Sindhu. What was that moment?
The Rafale is armed with a missile called the Scalp. The Scalp is a subsonic, extremely expensive, extremely precise weapon, air to surface, which gives you pinpoint accuracy in flying through very densely protected airspace. It is very robust and resilient against jamming, for example, and it hits really high value targets. That's the the Meteor is flies with the Rafale. The Rafale has the fire control system and the radar to actually guide when required the Scalp missile, and then it flies by itself. The Rafale is a masterpiece, both in terms of offense and in terms of defense. It fires a missile called the Meteor missile. We haven't really heard very much about its use in the IF at the moment. But in the context of long range or ultra long range air to air warfare, where you're looking at hitting targets from one aircraft to another at ranges at 200 kilometers, possibly a little bit more than that, that Meteor missile will be a game changer and is a game changer in the context of aerial warfare. It also has defensive capabilities which people don't understand, and I write extensively in this book about that. There's a suite called Spectrum. It is arguably the most advanced defensive suite anywhere, and I have no reason to believe that on a day when there were potentially attacks across the line of control and the international border, missiles incoming into Indian territory, the Spectra did brilliantly in defending, Rafale aircraft, potentially defending even other aircraft which may have been flying in close vicinity of the Rafale.
Even other aircraft.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
If you fly in the close vicinity, even though the formations that we employed were mixed formations in many cases, if you were flying alongside a Rafale into a certain area, and the range, of course, is classified with its various defensive systems, you could technically come under the cover of the Spectra's, defensive systems. So, what are these defensive systems? So it has, besides anything else, something called DIRC, and directed infrared countermeasures, which basically ensure that incoming infrared missiles are confused and are unable to actually hit the aircraft. It has a towed decoy system as well. We don't know if that was fully deployed or at all deployed during Op Sindoor, and if it was, it's completely guarded as a secret. But that's meant to ward off incoming infrared and radar guided air to air missiles and surface to air missiles. It has the ability of using various sensors to spoof incoming missiles, and that's an absolute key part of what it's capable of. It is designed to penetrate heavily guarded airspace, and as I said, remember the NC and IV is just a line. The Pakistan Air Force is very capable, and their aircraft were extremely advanced fourth generation aircraft, as were our aircraft. And therefore, in that environment, to have the ability offensively and defensively is absolutely critical. And I'm talking to you only with just a fraction, and I can go into great depth about the technical capabilities and characteristics of the Rafale aircraft. But there is a very good reason the Indian Air Force wants, and the Indian Navy also. It is, in the present context, the best aircraft which is available for our armed forces without a doubt. And what we will get now over the next 10 years would be the more advanced variants of this.
Because
A lot of people were saying that after the seventh fight on the seventh midnight, and when Pakistani aircraft were